morning. Next speakers are Erkang Zheng and Shawn Zhu. Erkang Zheng is the founder of a stealth AI startup focused on personalized insights and collaboration. An entrepreneur and product leader, he previously founded JupiterOne, a cybersecurity platform, and held leadership roles at Life Omnic, Fidelity, and IBM Security. Mr. Zheng holds CS degrees from NC State University and 5 patents. Erkang serves on advisory boards, supports community organizations, and frequently speaks at conferences. And the co-speaker is Shawn Zhu. Shawn Zhu is a founding engineer at Erkang's startup and the co-creator of Zori AI, a multimodal diagnostic assistant at Fountain Life. Mr. Zhu graduated from the Tsinghua University in China, a seasoned software engineer and a technology leader. Shawn has built scalable enterprise systems in senior roles at IBM, Life Omnic, and Fountain Life. In their keynote, The Excitement and the Gotchas of AI Startups, Erkang will share and cover some investors' expectations, product market fit challenges, and the scaling hurdles. He will also provide case study cases and strategies for using AI to accelerate go-to-market. Shawn will share hands-on experiences with tools like Cursor, GitHub Copilot, Codex, and Claude Code. He will highlight integration difficulties and productivity trade-offs. Please welcome Erkang Zheng and Shawn Zhu.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm so excited to talk about AI today with everyone. Shawn, how about you?
Yeah, I'm excited. Glad to see lots of audience, and if there's any questions, leave to the end of the meeting, and I'm happy to chat after the session.
Yeah, sounds good.
You looks like you told me drive casual, and you looks really dressed up.
Well, okay. This is my AI agent look. Well, you don't like it?
I see.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
This reminds me of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, Agent Smith. That's it. How's the session this morning? Good? All right, you know what? This is going to be an interactive session, so let's keep it up, right? So if this is the reaction, this is going to suck for both of us. All right, let's try this again. How was the session this morning? Great. All right, now we're talking. Okay, so before we get started, are you doing AI? Right, by raise a hand if you are founding a company or building or using AI in this room.
Wow.
All right, those of you who are not, I don't know why you're here, but okay, yeah, all right. So, this is the golden age of AI. And it's the golden age of founders building AI. Now, I got good news and bad news for you. Which one you want first? Good news? Bad news? Bad news first? Good news first? All right, good news first, because this is how I build my slides. So, sorry, good news first. The good news, everybody can be an AI founder. The barrier of entry is actually pretty low to build AI, Gen AI products. This is a recent article from The Economist, and it's talking about how easy it is to start an AI company. Right, so Shawn, what do you do? What do we do together? And how many people we have in the new startup?
If you count agents as the employee, there's a lot.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But for a human, it's just 4.
Just 4. Yeah, so companies are racing to become the single-person unicorns, right? So this is what the market, the community, the investors, and everybody's talking about, right? So who will be the first company to be a unicorn, billion-dollar company with just one person, and every employee is an AI agent? Well, guess what? Even the CEOs are getting replaced by AI agents. And there was one company that publicly said that the CEO stepped down and said, hey, I'm not doing it anymore. I just built the AI agent to do it. Right? So this is the rise of what's the so-called solopreneurs. It sounds very far-fetched, but it could be doable. Here's the other good news. $27 billion. Take a guess. What is that? What is that? Anyone? Sure. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right, $27 billion of investment in AI in 2024. 1/3 of all of the capital raised by all startups in 2024. Right, but that's not just it, right? So there's a lot of money, and it's a lot easier to build AI startups. And this is why we're doing it, right? What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. When Erkang and I first talked, and he told me, oh, we don't need to get lots of people. My reply is, oh, I'm glad you're still hiring people, because take a look at the cost. Like the most expensive AI you can buy, $200. Well, sounds a lot per month, but if you're thinking about like hiring a full-time employee, which one are you going to choose? Well, pretty obvious, right? And one thing I learned from hard lesson is, in old times, if you want to build some enterprise feature or scaling business, you're going to need a team.
Yeah.
Now, do we still use the term team now? We're just talking like, yeah, let's generate something and let agents do it. There's no, people hardly mention about like the concept of team. And the fact is, small team can do a lot of work today with the power of AI. And the third one is pretty obvious, and sometime I'm going to talk more later, is the speed is really, in old days we talk about like iterations, like sprint, in weeks. Elite engineers, I know there's some of them here, may take like days or even hours. Now is 30 minutes, 60 minutes. Or while during the conferencing, during the demo meeting, or you can generate something on the fly. And again, what Erkang mentioned is low barrier to entry. Like I remember, like in early age of like cloud computing, people are talking about like KVM, Linux. Today, I never heard of people say, hey, I'm going to build my own large language model from scratch. Why people don't do that? Well, you can easily just subscribe it. You can build something on top of it. It's really low barrier today.
Yeah.
Like even kids can do that.
Just like you don't have to build infrastructure, you can use cloud, right? This is even easier. All right, so who here is founding a company again, or thinking about founding an AI company or a startup? We have a few hands, a few more. All right. Anybody raising funding or thinking about, you want a piece of that $27 billion? Yeah? Well, I want some. No? All right. If you're fundraising, how is it going? Can be kind of tough. So let me tell you the situation of AI funding, right? So I've done some fundraising in my life. So here's what's going on with AI funding. I'm going to give you some, okay, don't tell me this is a number, right? I get that. All right, $40 billion, right? We just said 27. That was last year, for the whole year. $40 billion in Q1 went to OpenAI, one company. 50% of everything, 82% in the Bay Area. All right, so that's where the money is going to. 52%, more than half of all of the funding, not just AI, but of all the funding went to companies in the Bay Area. So think about those, right? So this is the game. This is how the game is played. There are two games. On one hand, we got all of these large AI companies, foundation models, and infrastructure companies chasing billion-dollar rounds. You got Scale AI raised $14 billion. You have Anthropic raised 3.5, and I think I built this slides a couple days ago, and I just heard yesterday they were looking for another $10 billion of funding, right? And so on and so forth. I'm not going to read all of these to you. And we also have super strong vertical application softwares building AI. Companies like Cohere, $500 million raised. Clay, for go-to-market software, raised another $100 million recently. There's a lot of these companies. Grammarly raised $1 billion. Now, everybody else is left with chasing the small, regular, normal rounds for seed, Series A, B, and C, and so on and so forth. All right, so that is the reality of fundraising today. Now, here's another reality. Are you growing fast enough? Now, if you're building an AI startup, or you're involved in one, let's think about how fast you have to grow. Right, we just said the barrier of entry is very low, right? But however, the benchmark is very high. I'll give you some numbers. From 0 to $100 million of ARR. That is a big-ass company, $100 million of ARR. Right, you have to reach what's so-called the escape velocity so that your competitors cannot chase you anymore. You're too fast. Lovable. You guys know Lovable? Right? And they reached $100 million of ARR in what? 8 months. 8 months. Think about that. Right before that, Cursor, 12 months. Wiz, that cybersecurity company, 18 months. And everybody else is in years. They're all measured in years. OpenAI, 2 years. Slack, 3 years. And so on and so forth. So now, we're looking at months to get to multiple millions of dollars of ARR if you're building an AI startup. So think about that for a second. Let me give you some numbers from Andreessen Horowitz. Right, so this A16Z is one of the premier investors. What is this chart showing us? This is for enterprise B2B Gen AI startups. This is what they're looking at. So this is what good looks like, right? So the line in the middle there, the green one, that's the medium startups that they're tracking. In the first year, right? So from first month of launching the product to the end of year one, the medium startups went from 0 to over $2 million of ARR. And between good to great, the great companies, the top tiers, over 5. That's B2B. Now B2C, even stronger. So let's put these numbers in perspective. All right, so this is the competition. This is what we're competing against. We're competing against startups like that. And everybody else is competing with companies like that. Right? If we can build an AI startup, somebody else could as well. It's not about the ideas, it's about the execution. How fast can we go? Well, more than that. This sucks, man. You just launched a product, GPT-5 came out, doing it better and cheaper than your product. What do we do? What do we do, Shawn?
We need to use AI, and we'll have to move faster.
Okay. All right, well, let's think about some of these things that can happen, right? So how do we move faster in doing AI? So here's a few things, right? So first of all, you have to think about the ideas that you're building. It has to be real. It has to be validated. I didn't come up with the script. Somebody else came up with it, and this Tom guy from Impact Theory, so I stole it from LinkedIn. But I'll talk about it a little bit, right? So these 5 is a pretty good script, and if you're interested, I can send it to you afterwards. These 5 steps, you can automate these 5 steps with all of the tools available, just like you can automate development with AI. Right, you wanna see an example? Yeah? See an example? Live demo?
Live demo.
Okay, well, let's see how this goes. All right.
If it fails, it's real.
Oh, yeah. All right. So this is the thing, right? So again, you can use AI to validate your ideas, do some market research, and research the competition, create a landing page, and test traffic conversion before you build it. Right? Let's see how this works. Right, let's see, here's ChatGPT and a custom GPT built by Impact Theory. Right? You can do this yourself. It doesn't have to be that. Let me put this down for a second. Good. All right, market research. That's what we're doing, right? Market research. Okay, that's a little vague. What should we do? What's the idea?
We can build a AI coach, because finding a real coach is very expensive.
AI coach. All right. How about coach and how about assistant and coach? Sounds good? And coach. All right, so it says it's too vague. Okay, let's clarify a little bit. How about AI assistant and coach for employees at companies of 20 to 1,000 people? How's that? Okay, all right. So help with, time management sounds good. And communications, provide clarity, solving the pain point of overwhelming workload. You know, this sucks when you have to watch me type. So, all right. And clarity. And this is for employees and the HR, head of HR. How's that? Okay. Do market research. All right. So in just a few minutes, you can have an agent do all the research for you and come up with, and you can actually do a competitor research. As an example of how you can use AI to help you validate some of your ideas. Right? You can even do better than that. You can use agents to help you search for things on Reddit, LinkedIn, and chat groups and whatnot to validate those ideas. Now, once you have that, how about you use something like Lovable, or in this case, bolt.new to build a landing page. It was pretty simple to build. How long did it take us to build this? Like 10 minutes, maybe?
Yeah. If you type faster, it might be like 5.
Yeah, just some scripts, right? So some prompts, and it built a landing page coming soon, and here you go. All right, so I'm putting your email, and now I have a landing page, and I can maybe put a $20 ad somewhere, and target some users that I identified in the first research phase, and get people to come to the site and see if they sign up. Or I can go to conferences and give a talk, and tell people about it, and see if people sign up. You see what I did there? Yeah. Okay. All right.
Just hold on a minute, think about like doing the same thing, exactly same thing without AI.
Yeah. So the key takeaway here, we're not quite done yet, but the key takeaway here, right, so is we have to solve a real problem, identify a real problem that has a market. You can use AI to do that. You have to be able to execute really, really quick. Right? Think about how you get to multiple millions of dollars in the first 12, 18 months. That's the game we're playing. And in order to do that, right, so the distribution is faster is more required even than innovation. Because as soon as the idea is out, somebody else can easily copy it. The barriers of entry is so low. Now here's some resources, right? So if you connect me on LinkedIn and send me a message, I can send you these resources and things I talked about early on. But we're not done yet. Here's some more fun. Shawn?
Thank you.
Yeah, keep going. Oh, you have a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's I should put in a very front. It's obvious. So I'm honest. So.
Oh.
So first of all, I would say also I assume everybody use AI and work with engineers who are using AI. If you're not using AI, that's just my other CEO told me, said, well, if you're not using AI, you'll probably lose your job soon. So first of all, I just want to say, as a developer, I assume like in this room, there's several people know like, the role of developer, software engineer, not the real estate developer. So the first thing in building the AI startup is you'll realize like developers are a lot busier. Why? They are not typing fast enough than AI, obviously, because they have to own the generate code. Because generate code is like, if you see a lot of memes, it's vibe coding, vibe release. But if it doesn't work, like developers have to manually get in. But sometimes if you got AI tools, you'll get better experience.
Are you sure? Because I feel like sometimes people think if you give all these Copilot things to employees, they do things faster and then they have more free time. And you put the prompt into Codex and then you go have lunch.
Yeah, you're right. So personally, I was thinking just like, imagine that you're like have those coding agents like Cursor, Copilot, everywhere. Like if you love those kind of things, more like playing with Legos. You have so many Lego sets, which one are you going to play first? And sometimes you feel like, oh, how can I stop? Because I can just like plan it better. Which I'm going to mention is after those kind of things are automated, are generated, can be even a test code can be generated automatically, and you'll have lots of like mental workload because you have to think more, think harder. There's no like traditional way is you can just like, oh, I'm going to go do some like repetitive work so I can think more, and you can go out have a coffee. Now, if you go out have coffee, you're thinking, oh, I should just prompt something, let Codex do something while I'm having coffee, or I'm having dinner, or when I'm sleeping, oh, there's some might be research ideas or some big chunk of features I want a coding agent to do overnight. So that's like kind of a mental workload is you're not a individual developer anymore. You have to manage your coding assistant, treating them like your peers, like your junior developers, although they're like know a lot. You have to plan time for interactive coding agent because you have to frequently touch them. Also for those kind of like AI agents in a box, you might think more, oh, can I parallelize it? My peer often told me is, if he's watching is, this is true. He said, oh, I just like created 3 prompts, let the Codex working overnight for me. I will say, yeah, that's great. I should do that as well.
All right, you can keep your job.
How about 4?
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is the very deep idea I'm keep thinking is actually, as a developer, you always feel like, I don't know about you, any of you feel like, you got a bright future in the job market, or you're afraid of like, you cannot find a job anymore because AI is so good. So I think the idea is really, as trained engineers, you've been thought like, oh, I need to learn more skills. I want to, read more books. I want to know more technology. I want to have like years of experience in Linux, in cloud computing. Now, you know what? They're commodities now. Like it's portable. Like even my kids can download the model on their laptop. So what do you mean by like, yeah, learn by yourself? This is actually kind of like saying, as a developer should think more about in an AI era is repetitive work. You might think about like not doing it. If your work quality can be measured by number, you may think about it. That might not be worth your time. And if something are actually knowledge is general accessible, like Wikipedia, yeah, if you can build something on top of knowledge from Wikipedia, well, somebody else can do it as well. Why you do that. And often the last is more like kind of like very important sometimes is coding something is creative, but in most of the time in business world is really about time to go to market. So if something values speed more than creativity, you might think about it. That might be something not worth your time or creativity.
I'm curious about that, right? So, but we still need creativity though, right?
Yeah, you still need that.
How do you balance that? You know, so can code agents also be creative?
Yeah, yes, you can. You just need to manage that better. You'd have to recognize some tasks value speed, some tasks value like creativity. You do need your core competency, your core proprietary knowledge, but for most of the time, like you're coding a website, yeah, you can just learn lots of fancy frameworks, but you can build some creative apps on top of that. But you know what? If you can just type something in Claude Code or Codex, they can do that in 5 minutes. And that's good enough. So I would say if you value that, that might be something you should trade it to let a coding agent to do it instead of do it by yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's your time and your effort and your focus, the most important thing as the software engineer.
Well, show us some examples of what you do or what Claude would do for you.
Sure.
You have some examples coming up.
Yeah, I'm gonna show some examples.
Okay, all right, keep going.
So like what I said is, if you want to avoid pitfalls, like you're trying very hard, manually craft some features, you think about like what's actually most valuable things as a developer in an AI area is, in the business world, you have to think about your proprietary data. Is what something is only you can do it, because if it's not like unique, well, anyone can do that. Even my kid can do it. Like why I have to hire people or create a startup to do it? And I have to be unique distribution, community as moats, because for something you have to learn is reaching to the right clients is more important than developing some fancy features. Like at the end of the day, is AI just like tools. They're not like product. You're not building fancy like AI features. You're using them. Well, at least most of us do. And focus on the features you didn't ship because of like you spend lots of time developing the implementation details, because your customer won't care about that. They care about features. You want the customers to buy your product. And the last one is really, in old days, if you read lots of books, you will know the best practice is write lots of, write code, write comments. That's how you get a computer science degree. You have to write comments because somebody else may read it. And now time has been changed. Is not only human, but also the AI assistant need those kind of things. Those documents becomes kind of like a key to your knowledge base. Make them available to your coding agents. Okay, so here are some, I'm gonna give you 2 examples. So the first one is really simple. It's just like introduce AI assistant, coding assistant to your code base. Like you got a code repo, you can just click a button from GitHub, you got a repo. And I myself is like, personally, in my opinion, monorepo is the best because it just makes things simpler. Everything is single place. And monolithic build, it's like all software, no matter which one you generate, it's just one process. You can do it, AI coding assistant can do it. And in old days, I often convince my peers that, hey, write something in a README. So README becomes really big. Now you have to think more as, oh, it's actually not only English sentence for people, it's actually prompt instructions, workflows for your coding agents. So you need to write like balance the content in a README, balance the content in the agents, markdown, and contributing markdown so the agents can actually follow your chronological history like git commits. They follow the habit just like your peer. The last one is like, I'm a fan of the Golang project layout. It's really kind of like intuitive for me. And it's actually, what I learned is over time, it's actually really good for the coding agent to pick it up because it's really logically separated.
I mean, it sounds like coding is like fashion nowadays. You go from monorepo to microservices and back to monorepo again.
Yeah, yeah. it's not like, I don't know about your experience. I'm coming from like a huge, maybe one of the world's biggest coding repo, and it's not a good experience to navigate around that. And the mono repo actually kind of like advertisement-wise, it actually makes things simpler, is you don't need to do cascade changes because everything in a single place. It's not optimized for people because in a large team, they need to distribute, they need to communicate, and people may have different culture. Today, most of the code are written by coding agents. So if you just spread them out, it's just like, well, good luck with your OpenAI bill. Okay, so this is actually a funny one. As recently, since Claude Code becomes available, lots of my friends in the highly regulated world told me oh, I have to protect my infrastructure so the AI cannot touch them because it's very scary. In the opposite, I would say everybody write prompts, right? You prompts your agent to do something for you. You feed your code base to the prompt, can do it. Coding agents are very polite, so I always say good words about, yeah, this code looks good, it's compliment, it's great, this feature works. Well, once you deploy it to the production, most of the time it doesn't work. So AI actually need more information. You cannot just feed code and your instruction, and you have to feed the runtime information, logs, and even beyond that, not only logs, but also like your coding history, like GitHub, like pull requests. You need to give them a tool to let the coding agent get things beyond your code base, beyond your knowledge base, like GitHub. And even more, Amazon. Anybody work for Amazon here? Okay, I just want to tell them like really need to reduce the price of the sum of services. Yeah, that's why all those kind of AI startups got so much money. Like our expense becomes their like revenue. Kubernetes, basically is I think anything popular like cloud native application, you can just give the tool like you're using. You're like type those command line every day. You memorize those parameters, becomes your muscle memory. Now you can just feed them to the model because model can do it faster. And the last one is, well, if you're actually running a production environment, I would rather to say those words very carefully is contain your write operation and a stateful operation in a sandbox, or at least do some manual operation. Sometimes it's actually kind of like scary. It's just like too much information. Like I'm afraid like feeding my sensitive information to the model. But well, sometimes if you're running production information, you have to be careful. Validate the outcome. Yeah, this is another one. How many, if you know the coding a long chain or long graph? Okay, I'm glad there's lots of people can get the joke here. So when I first showed this in our Slack channel, and people told me, oh, it's molecular. Like, reminds me of old memory working with doctors. And if you see that, if you look at it carefully, it's actually a long graph. It's like how you coding an agent to do something for you. Of course, like people like me are excited about technology, give the coding agent lots of tools, and that's where it fails. If you give the model too many tools, it will think too hard, and ended up two things. It breaks and generates a huge bill on your OpenAI infrastructure bill.
Did it work?
That's one thing maybe I should not tell you here.
Okay, all right, we'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, key takeaways is in the building AI startups, as a developer has to transform their mindset to thinking about like not only hands-on skills, experience, more thinking like an owner of your product, your outcome, and looking for commoditization triggers. Something becomes commodity, should not do that by hand. Second is make your knowledge, your code base, your production environment, infrastructure friendly to AI so they can operate for you. And last one is really as, at the end of the day, we're like human. We have to feel the transition. We have to recognize the mental workloads that's coming. It's actually keep you busy, keep you tired, just keep eyes on that.
He's telling that to me. Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Some resources. The first paper really kind of interesting is basically telling you like which jobs are going to be replaced easily by AI. And I learned is actually maybe now is if you want a job security, maybe you should learn some skills to learn how to operate the excavator or something. Some developer memes. Cool.
All right. That's it. Any questions?
Questions? Thank you.
All right.
Any questions?
First of all, it is a great talk. I really like the way in which you are summarizing last 2-3 years of the rat race that whole AI companies are doing, right? Thanks for that. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you.
One thing I want to curious about your recent take on MIT's review on 95% of AI projects is all typically failing, and Sam Altman's recent quote about the AI bubble thing, plus, what is your general take on that?
All right, so let me make sure I understand the question. So you're saying that what's my take on 95% of the AI projects failing and the potential bubble that AI is creating?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So I hear a lot of enterprises jumping to AI. I was just having a conversation with someone at Fidelity recently and talking about how many AI products and solutions that are building and the huge thousands of items in the backlog and so on, right? And it's the same for many enterprises. I think the challenge is that we look at how easy it is to build AI products, right? And then you build a wrapper on top of it and you launch a chatbot. Right? So a lot of the companies, and they think chatbots equals AI agents. And AI agents equals business value. Well, that's usually not the case, right? So that's why a lot of times then you rack up a huge bill with your AI infrastructure, but without clear ties and metrics back to what problems you're solving and the actual values you're generating. So I think if we start back with measuring the metrics of the outcomes, then we have a higher success rate. So I don't think that AI is a bubble. I think that technology is real. And the things that we're doing is real. But the approach can land you in hot waters if you're not careful. Not any different than building an AI startup.
Yeah.
Hi.
The only thing I want to add is you're right. It's adopting AI without a clear ROI model probably is going to fail and faster. The only thing I want to emphasize is right now is the computation among AI startups and technology are really fierce and moving very, very fast. Even you're good today, this month, next month, maybe you're not. Because there's always somebody if I figure out something better. And yeah.
Yeah, another reason why many of them fail so fast. All right, anything else?
I have a question. First, excited to see Erkang again. Yeah, it's
good to see you.
Yeah, just a little background for him. He's not only an AI investor, but also a very successful software entrepreneur for network security, owner of JupiterOne. Actually, my question is based on that, because I know you know both the network security and AI. And nowadays, people talk about, well, the AI might make the software engineer, software industry, software companies' life tougher, right? But most safe area is the network security, because they still have they still think network security is still require engineer, and it's very hard for AI to replace us or change the landscaping. But I'm not quite sure. You are expert. Could you give us some insight about that area? Do you think AI will dramatically change the landscaping of network security, or you think it's be an assistant, or you think something robot could be a threat to our network security?
Yeah, I'll give you a two-part answer to that, right? So I think one is, well, the short answer is yes, absolutely. AI will dramatically change the landscape of cybersecurity both in the terms of companies building cybersecurity products and in the terms of companies using cybersecurity to secure AI. Okay, so we're seeing a huge amount of companies starting new AI-based, AI-native cybersecurity companies. That's one, is using AI to build new generation of cybersecurity products. But the challenge there, right, it really is AI by nature, or Gen AI, which you say, right, in this case, is non-deterministic. So a lot of the things that you're doing in security and operation has to be precise and accurate. Right? So that's the challenge that we face with using AI in security. But it has a lot of the benefits of doing a huge amount of data analysis in operations to help you get there. And then now you have the last step of verify. Right, but then of course, then the other part is very hard, is how do we secure AI? And I don't think that the industry has a great solution yet. This is very similar to the early days of cloud, right? It's just, people are not sure how to best secure cloud, but we're working on it. Okay.
Maybe piggyback your first answer. Do you think AI-based cybersecurity solution is trustable or is accountable?
That's a loaded question. I think that it depends on how the product is built, right? If there's enough guardrails and for the right use cases, and if you give me a product that says AI is making all the decisions from the point of analysis to the point of making changes in my environment, at this point I wouldn't trust it, right? But if it is up to the point of analysis with human in the loop and with automation to assist people making the production and operational changes, then I would say yes, there's a pretty good shot that it can be adopted. Right? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Erkang and Shawn.
All
It's
right.
a great talk, so we cannot take any more questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.